Welcome back, boxing fans. Congratulations on another week of boxing. And we got some good sports coming in. I see Roy Dixon was in the comment section. What's up? There is no beef. I just hope that people that come onto my channel can show a little bit of respect and a little bit of class. That's all. That's all. People can have different opinions. I have no issue with that. It's just the constant blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. Give me a fucking headache, man. But let's get to this. Obviously, this is a big week of boxing. There's been tons of controversy going on, even though, once again, I don't know where the controversy is coming from. Everybody wants Canelo Benavidez, but Canelo right now is taking on a legitimate opponent in Jaime Munguia. David Benavidez is fighting a fucking 38-year-old fucking retired fighter in Vosdick. And people are more than happy to allow David Benavidez to cherry pick, but they're critical of Canelo Alvarez. This is consistently what the problem is. This is the problem. But you can't explain this to people because they are demented, racially motivated, and completely fucking broken in the cabeza. Because the reality of the situation is a lot of these people that are so anti-Canelo Alvarez, not all, but a lot, will fanboy and defend Tank Davis. As if what Tank Davis is doing doesn't deserve criticism, but Canelo does. People talk about how Tank Davis, Shakur, and Devin Haney are the most hated fighters in boxing. Give me a break. Literally, there's no one that watches the sport of boxing that believes that take. Nobody. Roy Dixon says, I appreciate it, Sean. I will behave myself. It's not about behaving. You're more than happy to go back and forth with Hawker Mustang. He enjoys it as much as you do. But it's just a matter of, we are gentlemen, so let's behave like gentlemen. Iceman's in the house. Harder Coil, what's up, my man? So let's just share my PPT since we're here and start breaking this shit down. So this is a comment I saw on Twitter, I suppose, where Rain says, I'm tired as shit, but somebody asked, so here's a pound for pound list of the top off the top of my head. And so let's break this down. It's not a bad pound for pound list. And the thing is, we know pound for pound is subjective, but this list has all the names on it, all the people with credible results. Terrence Crawford, two-weight undisputed champion. Nanaue Nui, two-weight undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez, current undisputed champion. Usyk, an undisputed champion who's in the process of potentially becoming a two-weight undisputed champion. Devin Haney, an undisputed champion. Like, when you think of those top five fighters, I don't understand why people would be critical of them being on the top five of the pound for pound list. They literally have done more than everyone else in boxing. You may not like them, you may be critical of them, but you cannot dispute the fact that they're doing more than every fucking buddy else in the sport of boxing. Lopez at number 6 potentially could have been a two-weight undisputed champion. Bivol beat an undisputed champion in Canelo Alvarez and now is in position to become an undisputed champion in his own right. Bam Rodriguez just became a unified champion in his second weight division. Now is moving back on up to take on Estrada, which is a legacy fight. Arthur Beterbiev, a 3-belt unified champion who's going to be fighting Bivol for undisputed light heavyweight. And then Shakur Stevenson, a 3-weight world champion. I mean, this list is quality. Sure, there's some people that potentially could be on this list. There's a couple Japanese fighters, a small Mexican, a few other fighters who potentially could be in the conversation. The one name that you notice isn't on this list is Tank Davis. And this isn't me hating on Tank, but you cannot compare Tank Davis to any of the fighters on this list and say that he's done more than any of them. And that's why he's not on the list above any of them. Does this mean he's not as good as them? Of course it doesn't. I think he could easily be on this list in the top 5. But to do that would mean you'd have to actually take on some of the opponents that people expect you to fight to prove that. That's all. Just prove it. Boxing Truth is in the house. What's up, my man? Howjo Buchen? Long time no see. I think Shakur, but Shakur at 10. What the fuck? So where should Shakur be? Shakur is the three-weight world champion. Who do you have above him, or who do you think he is above? Not bad rankings, except Haney lost the Loma. Well, but he didn't lose the Loma, right? I mean, we know controversy endings, but that's nothing to do with Devin Haney. That's judges. As far as the record talks about, he's undefeated. Dixon, pretty good pound for pound list. At least it isn't the LDBC list. That's true. I would have Estrada on the list at 10. The problem is Estrada hasn't fought fucking in how long? Right? It's hard to be on a pound for pound list when you're inactive. It's hard to be considered one of the best when you're not fighting, right? And that's the problem. I mean, Estrada should be on the list if he was staying busy. If he would have fought Ioka in December, then he should be on this list above Shakur 100%, but he didn't. And so we find ourselves in a position wondering, so what version of Estrada is left? You know, pound for pound lists aren't based on what you've done historically, right? It's where you're at right now. Anyone who's from the UK understands that. With football, when you look at Champions League rankings, right? You could be last year's Champions League winner, but it doesn't mean you're going to be fucking top 5 in the current rankings if you've been losing to fucking mid-tier fucking Spanish teams, right? It just doesn't mean you deserve to be up there. Shakur is very close 10. Hard recoil facts. Haney ducked that rematch. Loma, a draw is being nice. Ioka, Estrada over him, but now just because of the last performance was a bit disappointing. Well, Ioka's performance, his last performance was great. It was the performance prior to that where he was mediocre. And then he ducked Nakatani. So can we put Nakatani in top 10? I think it's a little premature to put him on that list. When he unifies at bantamweight, then he's definitely right there in the conversation. But Shakur, to me, is a generational talent and a future pound-for-pound top 3, for sure. This is a very true, but Shakur, unfortunately, let me down his last fight with De Los Santos. That's true. People have bad fights, you know, like Ioka had a bad fight. So, you know, you got to figure that out, put it in where you belong. That's true. The beauty of that performance has, because he didn't get hit, Shakur is talented, but you can rate him based on eye test. I meant Shakur's performance. Salute, Sean. What's up, Sniper 38.5? So this is just an example. I just saw it on Twitter, and I thought it's a quality list. When you look at everyone on this list, they've all accomplished a lot. And that's why they're on a pound-for-pound list, because literally they're doing what people want them to do. And you notice Canelo's on this list, right? Tank's not. And this isn't me hating on Tank, but being a one-weight world champion who's never unified does not elevate you above these guys who've all done more than you have. Even Bivol, right? Who's a one-weight world champion, but beat a legitimate pound-for-pound top 10 opponent in Canelo Alvarez. That's all we're asking Tank to do. Fight a legitimate top 10 fighter. Haney's here. Lopez is here. Shakur is on this list. That's 3 fucking guys Tank Davis could fight. Pick whatever one you want. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to force you. You just pick the one you think stylistically benefits you the most and then fucking make that fight. Let's go. Time to cook, Sean. Ha, ha, ha. Salute. Cook me for what? I ain't no fucking chicken. I ain't no turkey. This ain't Thanksgiving. I also saw this one, which I thought was really sort of factual to the conversations that we consistently have on YouTube now, and a lot of the bullshit narratives coming from racially biased channels acting as if Black American fighters are the most hated fighters in sports, when we know the most hated fighter in boxing is definitely not a Black American. This was just a poll that was done. So who's the most hated fighter today? Fucking by a long shot, Canelo Alvarez won this poll. And this is over 1,000 people that voted. 1,000 boxing fans on Twitter who participated in this poll. And 50% of them feel that Canelo Alvarez is the most hated fighter in boxing. And, you don't need to look far to understand that this is true. The videos coming out consistently hating on Canelo from across YouTube prove it. There ain't that many videos outside of the ones from the LDBC hating on Tank Davis. And they're only hating on fucking Tank Davis because they're dick riding Devin Haney, who happens to be number 2 on this list, Devin Haney. And him, as far as being the second most hated fighter in boxing, maybe. Maybe Devin Haney is there at about 22% because of the stupid things his father says, the bullshit he says, the controversial victory against Lomachenko, the fact that, he basically ducked Shakur Stevenson, right? And he ducked a rematch with Lomachenko. I understand you can't make the weight. Then you should have fucking said that. You shouldn't have alluded to the fact that you're going to move up to 140 to fight Regis Prograis and then come back down to 135 to fight somebody in a big money fight. That's what you said. So people are going to hold you accountable for that because it makes it seem as if weight is not the fucking issue. Benavidez, 1% for sure. Nobody's hating on Benavidez. Right? The reality of the situation is Benavidez is putting himself in this position by fucking doing nothing but dick riding and clout chasing off of Canelo. The dude didn't do anything in his whole fucking career except lose his title on 2 occasions thanks to his own stupidity. Outside of 2023, when we said that he was one of the best fighters of the year, taking on Plant and Andrade was a fucking great year. A historic year for David Benavidez, which elevated him right into position to earn a Canelo Alvarez super fight. Crawford, he's only hated by Spence fans. You know what? Spence isn't in this comment section anymore because Spence is fucking irrelevant. Really, he's irrelevant. Does anyone care if Errol Spence ever fights again? I don't think so. I don't even think Errol Spence fanboys fucking care, but hey, I could be wrong. Sean, which fighter would you put above Shakur? Maybe some Japanese or Latino. Well, I think Estrada, legacy-wise, obviously is above Shakur Stevenson. Easily. What he's done, Shakur has not come fucking close to that. And many other guys on the list haven't either. Ioka as well. But the problem is Ioka's looked tentative, ducked Nakatani. Estrada looked great beating Roman Gonzalez in the most definitive victory against Roman Gonzalez that he's been involved in. But then he fucking went over a year without actually fighting someone. If he would have fought Ioka and unified titles with him, then there would be no doubt that Estrada would be fucking above Shakur on this list. Haney is hated for a good reason. David, 2-time WBC champion, youngest super middleweight champion ever, beat Lemieux. Oh, come on, dude. Stop. David Lemieux was never a legitimate 168-pound fighter. He fucking jumped on him trying to clout chase off of his name. Andrade was the garbage fucking brother out of the family. Never had a fucking quality victory on his resume. Andrade and Plant, great victories. All last year. Prior to that, what the fuck has that guy been doing? Outside of getting fat and stoned and losing his fucking titles. And outside of Canelo, number 1 guy at 168, what about Munguia? Done so great. But nobody's claiming Munguia is fucking the Mexican monster, are they? I have not heard literally one person in the world say that Jaime Munguia is a fucking Mexican monster and that Canelo Alvarez is ducking him. That's the difference. Clearly. And he also had a great win this year against John Ryder, right? And hasn't capped and clout chased off of fucking Canelo Alvarez consistently and didn't fucking blatantly duck David Morrell, which is what fucking Benavidez did because his own manager fucking contradicted David Benavidez and his father by saying they had a deal in place to actually fight Morrell last year at this time. Whatever happened to that fight? Now he's going to 175. Now that the WBC actually said they're going to mandate the fight between him and Canelo, what does he do? He moves up to 175. The dude never wanted to fight. He wanted to fucking clout chase off of Canelo like every single PBC fighter in history has done. Tell me I'm fucking lying. PBC fighters have a long history of clout chasing off of people and then avoiding fights, at least until the fight becomes at a point where financially you can't fucking avoid it anymore. Spence fans became Boots fans. That's true. I have to give credit to Benavidez. It's hard to never unify a division for years and somehow convince a billion casuals that he's a boogeyman. Fucking facts. Facts. The guy ducked a Caleb Plant unification fight for how many fucking years? And then never even talked about fighting Smith or fucking Zerto or anyone else. What was he doing? Exactly what the PBC people do. I ain't blaming him. He's a PBC fighter, and he was fucking handled the same way the PBC consistently have handled all their fighters. Protection plan. David has slayed 154, 160 pounders coming up while being literally a cruiserweight. Facts. Munguia, Mimbili, Morel, none of these guys have done as much as David. And once again, no one is calling Mimbilia, Morel, or fucking Munguia Mexican monsters. Nobody is saying that fucking Canelo Alvarez is ducking them. But we are saying Benavidez is ducking Morel. Blatantly. That fucking dude's terrified to step in the ring with Morel. I fucking would bet fucking anything that Morel would beat the fuck out of David Benavidez. And it ain't even close. Ain't even close. I mean, Morel called David a bitch, etc., and he still ducked. Facts. Munguia ducked Benavidez' offer at 60-40. Yeah, to fight Canelo. Okay. So somehow ducking Benavidez to get a Canelo fight, that's bad business? He's going to make probably twice or three times as much money fighting Canelo Alvarez as he'd fight fucking David Benavidez on a pay-per-view that wouldn't even do 500,000 pay-per-view buys. Come on. Keep trying. David, manager, and dad are ruining his career. Benavidez style only works against pillow fists. David chasing a Canelo payday, not undisputed. Facts. Munguia robbed Dennis Hogan. Jay Will, man, you're trying too fucking hard. No one cares. No one fucking was acting like Jaime Munguia at 154 was a boogeyman. So no one cares that fucking Dennis Hogan got robbed against him because literally no one cared about the fucking fight. He went life and death with Sergey. Yeah, in Fight of the Year, those are the kind of fights that grab casual fans' attention and make people want to watch you, right? Those kind of fights that everybody watched and then watched again and then maybe even watched one more time afterwards. He claims fame for beating John Ryder as somebody Rocky Fielding handled. See, I find you crapping on a lot of other fighters, all to dick ride David Benavidez, whose biggest claim to fame happened last year by beating Canelo Alvarez leftovers in Caleb Plant. And Demetrius Andrade, a fighter who moved up to 168 and has never in his whole fucking career fought a world champion until he fought Benavidez and got fucking knocked out. So what does that tell you about him? Hype job. But okay. David got chased undisputed at 175 if you are serious. Well, that's the thing. If David is a real boogeyman, go fight the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev if you can't get a Canelo fight. Become undisputed at 175, and I fucking guarantee you'll get a Canelo fight then. But you think he's going to do that? No, because he's a PBC fighter. He's going to expect the winner of that to cross over to fucking the PBC. Morel would do David so bad in the ring. Fucking kill him. Would kill him. I can't believe the Black American racist channels on YouTube aren't more fucking pushing David Morel. They will when David Benavidez is something, and you know, then they'll push Morel because they don't really support David. They just fucking hate Canelo. Paulie started the Canelo hate campaign on ProBox TV. Man, Paulie is fucking delusional. And then he says he doesn't even care about the fight. It's not even a good fight. Benavidez walks through him. It's like, come on, man. Who the fuck is Benavidez walk through? Like, he ain't walking through Canelo. Could he beat him? Sure. He's fucking way bigger. A cruiserweight fighting a fucking 168 pounder, a middleweight, basically. Yeah, Benavidez has the potential to beat Canelo Alvarez. And what's he going to do after that? Duck fucking the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev. He's actually talking about moving up to fight Zerto at cruiserweight. This dude ain't serious about fucking anything. Um, Paulie lacks power, whereas Canelo possesses various forms of it. Well, that's the thing. Paulie lacks all power except fucking for opening his gob on social media. David Morrell can barely sell out an armory in Minnesota. Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything? What's David Benavidez fucking selling out? His last two pay-per-views with quality opponents did shit. Remember when Errol Spence fans hated on Bud Crawford because of his failed pay-per-views and said there's no reason Spence should bother fighting Bud Crawford because he doesn't sell. It's the same fucking scenario here. There's no reason for Canelo Alvarez to fight Benavidez because he doesn't sell. We can use that rationale in this situation as well. Except the difference is Bud Crawford actually was an accomplished fighter, unlike David Benavidez, who fucking, what has he done? Who did he beat to win his world titles? You probably can't even tell me, Jay Will. David Benavidez can't sell shit either. Exactly. Fucking Jaime Munguia sells more than fucking him. Jaime Munguia has a bigger fan base than fucking him. Why is Canelo fighting Jaime Munguia? That's why. Because real Mexicans support Jaime Munguia. Real Mexicans don't give a fuck about David Benavidez. Only Mike Tyson and a bunch of black racist YouTube channels that are using him to criticize Canelo. The same people that said that Caleb Plant was better than him historically. And now all of a sudden they switch teams. Come on. Let's keep this serious. So here's the big pay-per-view happening this weekend. Tim Tszyu against replacement opponent Funduro. Is it this weekend? What are your thoughts on David standing on the sides of the scale at the Andrade weigh-in? It was the first weigh-in, I believe, so perhaps pointless, but he missed weight for sure. Yeah, but the problem is with what they're doing with weight now. They're weighing the guys before they actually go on camera, on video. So the weigh-in is already done before they do this mock weigh-in later, right? So this whole mock-in weigh, the guys probably never fucking make weight because they've already made weight. So it doesn't matter if they make weight anymore, right? So it's kind of like, who gives a shit? It's irrelevant now because they did it earlier behind the scenes and now they'll come out and they just go through the show, right? And that's all it is, going through the show. Exactly, a ceremonial weigh-in process because fans want to see it, but it doesn't mean anything anymore, and it gives them that extra time to fucking put weight back on, which is perfect for David Benavidez. But obviously this weekend we have Tim Tszyu versus Funduro, a good fight, even though Funduro is coming off of a fucking loss, so how legitimate of a fight is it? I mean, he's still a quality opponent, and obviously stylistically, he brings something new to the table. And then you have, of course, Rolly Romero versus Pitbull. Most of the bettors or predictions are picking Tim Tszyu to beat Funduro, which I think is a wise pick because I do think Tim Tszyu is going to stop Funduro inside 8 rounds. And most people are picking Pitbull to upset the apple cart and beat Rolly Romero. But I'm not one of them. I'm picking Rolly Romero to knock Pitbull Cruz the fuck out. That's my prediction. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Rolly Romero fan. I would like nothing other to see him get knocked out again. But he's a much harder puncher than Pitbull. He's physically much bigger, and he's probably going to weigh 20 pounds bigger than fucking Pitbull on fight night. And I definitely think that's going to play out. It's going to make an impact, right? Because he's definitely going to be able to, I think, take what Pitbull is giving, but I don't know if Pitbull can take what he's giving. I know people said, well, Pitbull's chin is better. He didn't get knocked out by Tank Davis, but the version of Tank Davis he fought was one-handed. So, you got to actually recognize and remember that as well. I just can't trust PBC in any way. Who can? Sean, what did you think of Tim Tszyu's manager saying yesterday he'd fight Spence next at 154 in Texas? Well, they are part of the PBC. So are you surprised that Tim Tszyu and the PBC would be directing them towards a Errol Spence fight? I'm not surprised. Obviously, it's just another PBC shit show, but it's not a surprise. The PBC love to fucking recycle their fighters, even though What would make more sense would be to have Errol Spence on the undercard of this fight card versus Castano. And the winner of that then would fight Tim Tszyu. But unfortunately, the PBC doesn't do what makes sense. They just do bullshit, stupid ass crap. And then people fanboy for it because, wow, in 2024, they've listed 3 pay-per-view fights. Oh my God, the PBC is taking over boxing. Okay. Where are we? Funduro will make weight, but miss height. Funduro, I'm curious to see if Funduro is going to be timid after the devastating KO loss and 1 year inactive. Lubin, Mendoza both have sat him down. Rolly gets KO'd in sparring with headgear, I believe. I just feel like he has a chin, that his chin is gone. Maybe. Rolly over Pitbull. I don't even know who is training Rolly after he let his trainer go. Pitbull is much better technician. I think he will get a decision victory. It's similar to talks about Andrade versus Morale. Andrade has no business in the ring with Morale, but again, recycling fighters. Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I don't like Demetrius Andrade. So I would like nothing more than David Morale to knock his ass out inside 3 rounds, to send him into retirement and use his name to build up his own. Because sometimes that's what a young fighter needs, an old shit fighter with some name recognition on his resume. I love short versus tall fighters. This one is a great one. Any thoughts on Derek James Spence situation? I put out a short video, just a little quick one talking about it. And the truth is, I don't fucking care. I don't care. Errol Spence could retire, and he's got enough money, and there's no point him even fucking returning to the ring. So, I don't know what's going on with him and his trainer. They've close and had a good relationship. If Spence wants to ruin that over money, I mean, he's not the first boxer that's done that or the last. So, whatever. Dale Bailey says, I thought this was going to be an actual boxing live drama talking about black guys and promoting PBC hate. Oh my God, who's promoting PBC hate? Like, that's the problem with you, Dale. You're a fucking idiot. And everyone that listens to your comments realizes that with your stupid flag and your fucking stupid comments. David Benavidez is a monster. His style is good for fans. Oh, yeah, okay. Of course, you're a fucking David Benavidez dick rider, right? And the reality is, I don't hate David Benavidez. Let's see if David fucking fights winner of Bivol and Better BF for huge money in fucking Saudi Arabia. Who thinks that's going to happen? Raise your hand. Who thinks David is going to fight some fucking leftover reject PBC fighter at 175 pounds or bigger? But okay. Where are we? Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't really care too much about Derek James. I don't care about this kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with boxing. Errol Spence is irrelevant at this point unless he comes back and shows he's motivated to keep boxing, and then at that point we'll talk about him. But at this point, he just got his ass destroyed by Bud Crawford, walked away from the rematch, and who knows if he's ever going to fight again, right? I mean, David said something. It's not about the money, it's about the belts and legacy. Yeah, see, I mean, David saying that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard, because when he could have fought Caleb Plant for unification, his promoter said, it's all about the money. Here comes Legacy at 175. He's going life-changing Saudi money. Can't duck this, no excuses. I just hate that David has earned his shot at undisputed at 168, but because Canelo's doing what he wants, he now has to go to 175. But did he earn his shot? The WBC just said that in March, they're going to mandate him as Canelo's mandatory, meaning that after, obviously, Canelo's fight against Munguia, they would have to start negotiating for a September fight for David Benavidez. But what did David do? He moved to 175. Once the WBC told you they were going to mandate that fight, he moved to 175. This is consistent with what we see from PBC fucking guys. They call people out, they call their names out, and then they never fucking put in the paperwork to mandate fucking fights. Bro, the mandatory is enforceable after March. He's moving to 175 as a known. Exactly. Exactly. He's walking away from a mandatory opportunity to go to 175 to take on fucking Vosdick in a fucking cherry pick fight, to be the undercard of a Tank Davis fight. Why? Because that's what Al Heyman wants him to do. And because these guys are all lackeys for Al, they don't worry about what's best for their career. They do fucking stupid ass bullshit moves. And then people like Dale Bailey defend it. You talk about recycling. Isn't that what Oscar is doing with Virgil and Jose Ramirez? I don't care for PBC. I'm a boxing fan. Sure you are. See, once again, John Boxing or Dale Bailey, whatever you want to call yourself, there's no channel on YouTube praising or hyping up Virgil Ortiz, Oscar, Jose Ramirez fight card. Nobody. And to criticize Oscar for this, Oscar's made a lot of great fights this year. He's been way more fucking busy than fucking Al Heyman and the PBC, and not as many fucking pay-per-views. Is this a great card? No, nobody wants to see this card. Nobody wants to see Rances Bartholomew or fucking Delorme fight ever again. Two refugee PBC fucking fighters that he's now doing what Al Heyman did by fucking recycling PBC dudes. But we know that obviously Ortiz has had health issues. And we know Jose Ramirez has been fucking inactive for a long time because he got married and other things are happening. So, you know, it's not unusual for fighters to come back against lesser opponents. We see it consistently. So the only people making something out of this are guys like you and John Boxing, because no one's praising this. No one's hyping it up. No one's going, oh yeah, Jose Ramirez Ortiz, fucking Mexican monsters, pound for pound, face of boxing. No. Nobody's saying that. Canelo was huge versus Khan. Oh my God. We don't need fucking histrionics, man. David has been Canelo Mando. It's got him nothing. He isn't. He wasn't mandated. Stop the fucking crap. What fucking was just told to you is the fact. Go check out fucking Suleiman in the WBC, who just came out with the fucking statement. But see, that's the problem with dudes like you. The WBC president comes out with statements and you guys fucking ignore it and then act like this isn't true. Like the whole fucking Lomachenko. Lomachenko was not elevated. He was stripped or he dropped the title. No. He was elevated. Elevated. It's kind of like being the WBA regular champion, and then like Tank Davis now was just elevated to the super champion. He didn't fight anyone, but he just became a two-weight world champion because he was elevated. That's what the WBC did to Lomachenko, and then they gave Devin Haney the regular title, basically. But people don't want to fucking push that narrative, so they fucking continuously lie again and again and again. Leave Uncle Al alone. He's got nothing to do with this. He's got everything to do with it. He's been fucking ruining boxing since the beginning, since he stole all his fighters from Oscar De La Hoya. Who the hell is John Boxing? Benavidez brings nothing to the table but 25 pounds and doesn't sell. That's true. Canelo can feel that way because in truth, he can fight Jaime Munguia right now and put up more pay-per-view fucking buys than he would fighting David Benavidez. But had no energy to fight Zerto at 168. None. But now he wants to fight Zerto at cruiserweight. Didn't want to unify at 168, but now you want to fight at cruiserweight. Zerto's going to get knocked out at cruiserweight by fucking the Frenchman. I'm with you, Jay Will. Canelo ducked David Benavidez. Of course you say that. I mean, come on. And David Benavidez ducked fucking Morrell, right? Right? Suleiman said if David beats Andrade, he'll be the Mando for Canelo. See, again, Jay Will, you fucking don't listen. You make stupid statements that aren't based on fucking fact. Suleiman just fucking came out in February and said that in March, he's going to mandate David Benavidez as Canelo's fucking WBC mandatory opponent. Boxing Truth just echoed what I told you. You think we're lying? No. Why would we lie? We don't fucking care. There's no need to lie because I ain't getting fucking any benefit out of this. I'm not Ego, Dante, and the rest of these douchebags that continuously need to push racial narratives on my channel to make fucking AdSense money. I don't have AdSense money anymore thanks to John Boxing. So I ain't getting paid anything for anything I say. So why do I need to lie? I have the video, Sean. Oh, congratulations. Yes. And the mandatory was set after March. I'm a Lomachenko fan, but what happened to the franchise belt? He's not the only one that had it. Estrada had it, Canelo had it, Lomachenko had it. Why using it with regards to Lomachenko? I don't know what happened to it. It should never have been around to begin with. So hopefully it's fucking gone. Just like the WBA fucking super title. Because apparently all the regular titles were going to get fucking kicked out. But what happened to that? After March, he chose to move to 175. Why can't you understand that? Yeah, because he doesn't want to understand it. Because he'd rather push a narrative. Suleiman's a flip-flopper. Fine. So then that's nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez, but everything to do with the WB fucking C. Which I consistently say, hate on the sanctioning bodies, not the fighters. John said Sean dirty. He did. He did me dirty. Sean is crazy. How does he call himself a boxing fan but promote hate? What hate am I promoting? Why can't you respect these fighters? What fighter am I hating? See, this is, again, a stupid fucking comment from a fucking troll boxing channel or boxing person. I don't know even what to call you. Who the hell is this John guy? I don't know. Who is he? John Boxing thinks YouTube police lives matter. Yes, he does. But let's just quickly put a poll out there before we get back into the same old bullshit because it's just going around and around. Okay, you think that? That's fine. Now let's move on. Who thinks Tim Tszyu is going to win versus Funduro? Does anyone think Funduro is going to win? Anybody? I mean, I don't, but maybe somebody out there does. I know you guys think Pitbull's going to win. I'm picking Rolly Romero, but you know I like to live on the edge, so that's why I'm going, because in truth, I don't care who the fuck wins. Tim Tszyu wins? I think so. I have Tszyu and Pitbull. It's not bad. That's what the bookies are saying, so, you know, they must know something. Here we go. Another article. Drawn Ennis. I want big names. I'll even go to 140 to get them. You know, I like Boots, but what Boots should be focusing on is fucking getting in the ring. What Boots should focus on is unifying all those 147-pound titles because that's some easy work for him. Mario fucking Barros, easy work. Stanionis, easy work. Fucking, what's his face? The golden boy dude who hasn't fought since his big win and is just waiting to be elevated to that WBO title. I can't even remember his name. Easy fucking work. Crowley, easy work. Fight those fucking dudes. Fight 3 times a fucking year. Be exciting and beat all those motherfuckers and become undisputed. And I guarantee you'll get big money fights. But if you're going to sit around, argue about fucking your promotional rights, not sign with a real promoter, but fucking live in fucking Never Land between Showtime and the PBC, call out fucking Spence and Crawford, and then literally, walk away from a WBO mandatory to go chase an Errol Spence IBF mandatory, you're making your life more miserable. You're doing it to yourself. The same people that think that Shakur Stevenson is potentially one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the next 10 years also fucking think Boots Ennis is. But to do that, you need to fight, not stop fucking clout chasing big name fucking guys. Go fight the guys you can get and the guys you can beat to become undisputed. Do what other people have done. Earn your fucking respect. Build your fan base. Get your merit. You become undisputed at 175, 147. Now, every motherfucker at 140 needs to come see you if they move up in weight, right? And then when you move up to 154, you can mandate motherfuckers up there to fight you or drop their titles and look like bitches in the process, right? So this whole statement, this is the problem with most of these young guys. They too busy talking on Twitter and not fucking fighting in the ring, right? And it's the worst thing they can do for themselves because Boots is a monster, a monster. I hear some people going, "Oh, Virgil Ortiz is ducking Boots Ennis." It's like, oh my fucking God. What are you talking about? Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis both fucking blatantly ducked Bud Crawford for a WBO world title fight. Virgil moved up because he can't make 147 and has health issues. Boots is fighting once a fucking year, typical of PBC fighters. And he expects huge name recognition and praise. It's like Shakur, who consistently is on Twitter fucking saying the stupidest shit ever. Go fight Raymond fucking Muratalla. Go fucking fight someone. Stay busy. Put in your work. Stop pricing yourself out. Stay busy. Get your fucking 3.5 million guarantees. Beat these dudes and build up big fights. Right? These dudes all want fucking everything now, but they don't want to do anything to fucking earn it. It's crazy. Crazy. I'm on the wrong channel because I disagree with Sean. No, because if you were on the wrong channel, I'd just block your ass and nobody would listen to anything you had to say, right? Go check out some of those LDBC channels and see if you disagree with them, how fucking long you're going to stay fucking talking bullshit on their channel. Yet you've been talking bullshit on my channel for years. So you should say thank you and fucking throw me a super chat when you're able to, and stop fucking acting like a victim. Pitbull is trash. Boots is my favorite young fighter. He has all the talent in the world, but PBC is ruining his career. Facts. He has an easy chance for undisputed, but he can't get any fights because Heyman is broke. Facts. Facts. Right? They've been talking about the Cody Crowder fight for how fucking long? That fight isn't hard to make. How much money you got to pay Cody Crowder? Fucking $1 million? And that's a huge payday for him. And say, here you go get knocked out. And then fucking retire. But sorry, I hate Boots because he's black, but I'm a fan of Cody Crowder because he's a white guy and he's from Canada. Yes, I'm a huge fan. I got tons of videos all about Cody Crowder. Heyman can't pay these guys to unify. Heyman can't offer protection plans to anyone. Apparently he can't. Tim Tszyu is getting $10 million for his Funduro fight, biggest payday in Australian history, but I don't see this fight breaking 100,000 pay-per-view buys. Amazon isn't going to be impressed. Luckily, he's got a whole continent of Australia helping to pay for these fights, even if America doesn't reach into their pockets. Virgil versus Boots at 154 would be huge down the road. Virgil and Boots both are not doing enough. Very disappointing. Well, Virgil was until, of course, the Stanionis fucking fight fell through 27 times. I'm surprised they didn't try to make Ortiz versus Haney. They didn't put Virgil on the Haney-Ryan Garcia card. I'd like to listen to a debate between you and Southpaw. Why? Who wants to listen to fucking Southpaw? The fact that you even listen to Southpaw says everything we need to know. That dude is a fucking idiot and literally has nothing worth saying ever. I'd never listen to his channel. Haney-Ryan fight is selling bad. Yeah, that's because Ryan fucking looks like he's a mental case. Now somebody's out to kill him. I don't listen to what I'm not interested in. I don't know what that means. You listen to Southpaw, so apparently you're interested in him. Do you think Benavidez going from main event to pound for pound pay-per-view on Tank undercard will not entice Canelo more to not fight him? Probably, because now he fucking doesn't even fucking headline a fucking pay-per-view. He's a fucking secondary fighter. Southpaw has literally no debating ability. he's just autistic and starts cussing and screaming. Can't have a convo with that guy. It's kind of like fucking BFTB and who's that other kid that fucking just blindsided me when I jumped on his channel. Some mental case. Southpaw knows shit about boxing. I don't listen to Southpaw. That dude is a nutcase. But you're the one bringing him up. You're the one bringing him up. No one else is mentioning that fucking guy. Michael Montero, what did he say? Jesus Christ, man. I can't even see. How ridiculous this is that I have this on my phone. Here, let me just go full screen so I can see. Okay, there we go. One of the most overrated fighters of the 2000s. Was good, but never pound for pound. If Broner had been born in the Ukraine, Japan, or Nigeria, he would have never been rated as highly as he once was. Broner was a good, Steve Kim says, was a good, solid, and entertaining fighter. In the eyes of many, he was never truly elite. Adam says, can't say Ortiz Delorme is inspirational matchmaking. Well, nobody's saying that, so you're fine. So Adrian Broner, we've had this debate a lot with some people who talk about how Adrian Broner doesn't get the respect he deserves because he's a 4-weight world champion. But the problem with Adrian Broner and his 4-weight world champion is we know that he cherry-picked his way through those divisions, collecting titles, not fighting anybody. And then the first time he faced a legitimate opponent, he got beat. And then ended up going on to get beat in every single fight afterwards. He didn't have enough punch output, so he lost fights because he was inactive. He was a good fighter, good power, technically very good. But the people that were once pushing him as the new Floyd Mayweather hyped his ass up way too much. And inevitably, you can't live in the shadow of Floyd Mayweather, just like you can't live in the shadow of fucking Michael Jordan. Those dudes are the next Michael Jordans, the next Kobe Bryants, the next LeBron James, the next fucking Floyd Mayweathers. Never live up to expectations. Look at Errol Spence. Look at fucking Tank Davis. None of those guys are fucking Floyd Mayweather and never will be. They ain't even fucking in the conversation. Where are we? Southpaw gets views, I guess, a lot of kids, maybe. Any word on AJ's next opponent? From what I heard, AJ is going to wait for a Fury Usyk fight to finish and then see how that unfolds and see if there's a possibility of getting that Fury fight or if they're going to push forward with the mandatory the rematch. Because the truth is, if Saudi Arabia says, maybe they'll go in a different direction, right? Because money talks and bullshit walks. AB, Leo Cruz, Mikey Garcia are pretty weak 4-division champs. Well, they are, right? I mean, Mikey Garcia was once really hyped up as the Mexican Floyd Mayweather. Stylistically, I don't see what he does that's fucking even close to fucking him. Santa Cruz was entertaining, but had no fucking power, none whatsoever, right? And Dr. Rigo, for fucking his life, all thanks to Al Heyman, who told him, don't fight Rigo, right? But then people that want to push all this hate towards Bob Arum, Top Rank, ruining Rigo's career, they ignore the fact that the PBC literally fucking ducked and dodged that guy forever. AB versus Blair Cobbs could be a circus. See, right now, that's the kind of fight you can do because Blair Cobbs is shit. AB is fucking washed out, right? So why not do a fight like that? But you might as well do Blair Cobbs versus Thurman. Throw fucking Broner in there with fucking who won? Robert Guerrero or fucking Berto? I don't even know who won that fight. Don't even care. You tell Southpaw sniffed glue as a child. His mom did, that's for sure. Terrence Crawford is the closest to Floyd Mayweather, even though he fights nothing like Floyd. Do you think Zhang retires Wilder when that fight is set? See, that's a great fight. And it's ironic because, of course, Eddie Hearns is a race. What is he? A fucking slave master. And fucking Dead Zone is terrible. But nonetheless, Wilder is going there to get paid. and to make big fights. I think Jang Wilder's a great fight. It might disappoint because neither of them throw a lot of punches, but I do think someone's getting knocked out. What do you have for Fury Usyk? I'm leaning more towards Usyk. Aside from Wilder's two fights, Fury hasn't really done much. Beat Dillian White, and that was a fucking super impressive victory. And we know more than ever what Wilder is. PBC hype job. Well, that's all PBC fighters, right? I'm leaning towards Usyk. I'd love to see Usyk win and become the third two-weight undisputed champion, joining Crawford and Inouye and Usyk. That would be great. One black guy, one Asian guy, one white guy. Fuck, man. Talk about disparity. That is fucking UNICEF. UNICEF? What's the fucking clothing brand? The color of the rainbow. Fuck, I can't remember what it is. But that would be great. Some people would hate it because they fucking want black superiority and they don't want to see fucking an even playing field. But I think it'd be great. But at the same time, I'd love to see Fury win because I'd love to see Fury and AJ fight. Obviously, AJ and Usyk in a trilogy would still be a great fight, but it's not as interesting because we've already seen Usyk beat him twice. I was shocked to see Nicholas Walters fight on Pro Box last night. Haven't heard of him since Loma smoked him. That's true. I heard he fought pretty well. It was a good opponent. Obviously, his money ran out, so he got back to boxing. That's the problem with many of these Caribbean dudes. They smoking too much and, living in the islands. And obviously, you can get by with not a lot of money and have a good life, right? Irie, live in Irie. But once that money rolls out, then you got to get back in the ring, kind of like Bostic. It's too bad because Nicholas Walters, prior to that Lomachenko ass whooping, was one of the scariest fighters in and around that weight class. And unfortunately, Loma gets zero respect for beating him because he hadn't fought in 11 months. He could have fought fucking 4-5 months earlier. He chose to walk away from the contract. And if he hadn't fucking had a draw against what's-his-face, Mariaga, and lost his title at 126 pounds, he could have had a Lomachenko fucking unification fight there too. But people ignore that because they don't want to give Lomachenko any credit. Jang better use his Wu-Tang style against Wilder like he did with Joyce. Well, he better definitely use his Tyson Fury-esque body to sort of tire Wilder out, that's for sure, and save his fucking energy. Doesn't seem like a rematch clauses are being honored. Jang Parker was said to have one. Fury Usyk have one too. Well, it's good though. You think about the Saudis. They're paying you so much money. Why the fuck do you even need a rematch clause? They're just going to make the best fights available, and they're going to still give you big fights whether you win, lose, or draw. Example, Jang lost, getting a big fight. Wilder lost, getting a big fight, right? So you don't need a rematch clause. Rematch clause is there to protect you, but with the Saudis throwing monies towards heavyweights, you don't need that protection. It's much better to be free and easy and being available to make other matchups that boxing fans are more interested in watching. If you stop focusing on black people, your channel would be amazing. Boxing is full of black people. How would I avoid it? How do I not talk about it? Oh, I should be like a John Boxing. I should only talk about non-black fighters. Okay, I'll try that. Joseph Parker will get a big fight regardless. He doesn't care. Exactly. He's going to be benefited because of those two victories. The problem is, do you really want to see Joseph Parker fucking fight Zhang in a rematch? I don't think anybody wants to see that. He's probably going to make even more money. Facts. It's definitely going to pay him more moving forward, and he's probably going to get a far more intriguing opponent. Maybe they can throw him in with fucking Jay Opataya, right? That'd be a great fight. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Nobody cares. Literally, nobody cares. I love Tyson. I'd love to see him knock out Jake Paul. I don't hate Jake Paul. He shows more heart and determination as a boxer than fucking 90% of boxers do. So, all hail Jake Paul. He's doing well. Face of boxing in America. Okay. Mike Montero says, number one, Canelo is currently avoiding Benavidez. Number two, Benavidez fucked up all chances he had at forcing the Canelo fight, and it's 100% his fault. Both things can be true at the same time. You're welcome. And that's a reality. That's why I took this picture and put it on here, because so many of the back and forth we see on YouTube doesn't really fucking get this rationale. Two things can be true. Tank Davis can be protected, and Canelo can be fucking looking in another direction, not named fucking David Benavidez. And don't get me wrong, I want to see the Benavidez fight. But in the meantime, if we can't get that fight next, why not fight the winner of Better BF and Bivol for undisputed at 175? That sounds like you'd become a pound for pound top 10 fighter if you did that, right? And that sounds like it'd be a pretty good fucking thing. And you know, if the Saudis are offering you that, you're probably going to get paid pretty fucking good money. And if you win that fight impressively, you're probably going to get a fucking follow-up fight. Maybe a Canelo Alvarez fight. So, I mean, you know, people are just so fucking set in their narratives. Jay Perez in the house. I really fear Tyson will get KO'd. I don't think he can really box more than a few rounds at this age. Oh, come on, man. Jake Paul ain't knocking him out. You can't handle him talking about black fighters. Would be sad, kind of like Holyfield getting knocked out a few years ago. There's no way fucking Jake Paul's knocking out Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's going to fucking knock Jake Paul out inside the first 2 fucking rounds. Come on, guys. Get fucking real. He might be 58 years old, but he's still Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul is still fucking Jake Paul. I don't know if Jake Paul would beat his brother, so I don't think he's going to beat fucking Mike Tyson. What's funny about Tank is that he put a rehydration clause on Mario Boyros at 140, which they didn't talk about. They ignored that. You notice that news never got out. He then did it to Ryan. I believe Ryan wasn't supposed to leak that because Barrios didn't. See, that's the whole point. What kind of snake shit is it? When you move up to 140, you put rehydration clause on dudes, and then you act like you're beating somebody legitimately, right? And yet the people who support you then criticize Canelo Alvarez. I hope Canelo Alvarez fights David Benavidez and puts a rehydration clause on his fat fucking ass and says he can't get over to fucking 180. He can't get over 180. 185 maybe. I'm not so bad. Okay, 185. Ducey Zepeda going after the winner of Loma. Campbell winner. He is positioned for title fights in many sanctioning bodies. Shakur seems like he is the odd man out. But the rumor is that Lomachenko winner will fight Navarrete for unification. And if that's the case, then the only real legitimate opponents for Shakur would be Zepeda, his mandatory, or Raymond Muratalla, who's a fucking great opponent as well. And both of those would be great opponents for Shakur. And then if he wins that fight, then he can fight the winner of Navarrete Lomachenko for 3-belt unification, right? I don't understand all these people that hate on the possibility of Lomachenko fighting Navarrete as if Shakur fighting Loma or Shakur fighting Navarrete is better. Why is it better? They're all fucking unification fights. What does one fight better than the other? I mean, if we want to talk about stylistic matchups, and you can leave this in the comment section below, who would you rather see fight? Loma versus Navarrete or Shakur versus Navarrete? And even Loma versus fucking Shakur. Which fight do you think is going to be more entertaining to watch? Loma versus Shakur or Loma versus Navarrete? It's the same thing I said about Oscar Valdez fighting Jamal Herring for unification. That fight should have been allowed to happen. It was a more entertaining fight. And then Shakur should have fought the winner of that fight. And I also said Oscar Valdez fighting Navarrete, I would have taken that fight because it was a more interesting fight than fighting Shakur Stevenson. And it was a more interesting fight. We saw both of them. The Navarrete Valdez fight was a way fucking better fight, way more entertaining. That's not hating on Shakur. It's just style matchups. It's like watching the NFL. Certain games, you're going to enjoy more than others. It's not that you're hating on the other team. You're just looking at fucking how a game is going to unfold, right? But these dudes, man, are mental cases. This makes me believe Tank would have tried this shit with Haney and others. Laugh out loud, and now he can't. He's never fight the top guys, unfortunately. True. I hope so, Sean. But it was okay when Canelo had no problem taking about Macaboo, Hurd at cruiserweight. What are you talking about? Canelo Alvarez fighting Macaboo at cruiserweight compared to what? What are you talking about? Canelo Alvarez fighting Macaboo at cruiserweight would have become a 5-weight world champion. Maybe you don't understand the significance of that. Literally, there's less than 10 5-weight world champions in boxing history. And I'm pretty sure there's not one Mexican fighter who's a 5-weight world champion. So that's a huge legacy fight. The only people that hated on that are people that don't want Canelo to do legacy-like things. They didn't want him to fight Bivol either, because that was a cherry pick. Of course, until Bivol proved what I said, that he was too good of a boxer, and don't be surprised if he outboxes Canelo and wins, which is what he did. But, people will say all kinds of crazy shit. Crazy shit. Oscar, Jay Will. Oscar's American. Are you fucking delusional? He ain't Mexican, brother. Like, come on, man. He's got a fucking gold medal representing fucking California, representing the States, the US of A. Shakur lost me with his last performance. Don't want to watch him anymore. Well, we can't be that hateful towards him. One fight does not end a career. Obviously, that was a terrible performance, and it's not the only terrible performance he had. But his fight prior to that against the Japanese guy was sublime. It was a fucking incredible performance. Looked great in that fight. I was super hyped after that fight. Who's hating on Loma Navarrete? That's a great fight. Tons of people. People that somehow like Shakur but hate Lomachenko, right? And can't be rational as boxing fans, but obviously pick one guy over the other for obvious reasons. And would be super excited for Shakur to get a Navarrete fight, but are very disappointed that Lomachenko would fight Navarrete because that's shit and fucking a cherry pick. He's talking about rehydration clauses that Canelo Alvarez was going to put on Macaboo and Badou Jack. Actually, I didn't even remember that there was a rehydration clause on Macaboo. I know that Badou Jack said there was. So you're comparing Canelo Alvarez moving to his 5th weight division to Tank Davis moving to his 3rd weight division. And the difference between light heavyweight and cruiserweight is 25 pounds. But you think somehow that's an equal comparison. I guess you guys failed math. I mean, I'm not a great math student, didn't do well in math, but even with my limited mathematics knowledge, I understand that moving from 135 to 140, 5 pounds, and moving from 175 to cruiserweight, 25 pounds, is a pretty fucking significant difference. And you can totally understand why you may want to put a rehydration clause on a dude that potentially could come into the ring at 220 fucking pounds. But okay, maybe I'm wrong. I could be. I'm not right on everything, most things, but not everything. Maybe because Canelo started his career at 140, bro. He's 5'8". He already tiny at 168. If anyone would have that shit, it's him. It's literally his 5th division. I know. You can't make this shit up, right? Right? They'll say, oh, well, he started fighting when he was 15 years old, so of course he was 140 pounds. I bet fucking Macaboo wasn't fucking 140 pounds when he was 15. And Badou Jack, that dude was a 168-pound fighter. He should easily be able to fucking make weight without a rehydration clause, that fat bastard. Because, the only reason he moved up to cruiserweight is because he knew the competition was fucking garbage compared to 175, who he couldn't beat. So he moved up to a weight division where he'd be faster and technically better than the cruiserweight fighters that were not that great. Roy Jones started his career at 154 and went to heavyweight. Manny started his career at 108. So let's stop. Dude, you're still fucking delusional, right? You're not proving your point. You're actually contradicting your point. Roy Jones actually didn't start his career at 154. He started his pro career at 154 when he was how old? And what does any of this have to do with any of them? The point is 5 pounds, 25 pounds. It's easy to see which guy probably should put a rehydration clause on. So you're okay with Tank Davis putting a rehydration clause, even though there's only a 5-pound difference from one weight class to the other. You notice Lomachenko didn't put a rehydration clause on fucking Devin Haney. He didn't need to because he's a better fucking fighter. But okay, what happened to Roy at heavyweight? Roy won at heavyweight and lost when he came down in weight, because what kills you is not going up in weight. What kills you is coming down in weight. And that's the same thing that fucking Andre Ward did to fucking Dawson, drained his ass and ruined his career. Let's not act like Canelo is doing stuff we never seen before, is all. Who said that he is? I said if Canelo goes up to cruiserweight to become a 5-weight world champion, he's going to do what less than 10 fighters in boxing history have done. So people have done it before. Less than 10 fucking people, but some people. What has fucking Tank Davis done that no one's done before? I don't know. Fucking eat a Twinkie fucking in his jail cell. Who knows what he's done? Who cares? I'm no Tank fanboy. I always criticize him. Nice. What is Canelo doing, though? He hasn't done it. What is Canelo doing, though? He hasn't done it. My dog's upstairs and angry. So, Dale Bailey, you're still not winning this conversation. Like, you're using a Tank David argument to criticize Canelo Alvarez as if somehow this fucking means something. You guys are obsessed with fucking Canelo Alvarez, man. It's kind of fucking pathetic, truthfully, because there's not one fighter you like in boxing today who's done more than Canelo Alvarez. Sorry to say that, but literally you can't list anyone who's done more. 2-weight regular champion, actually a 3-weight regular champion. Tank Davis is the first boxer in fucking history to become a 3-weight WBA regular champion. And hopefully the fucking last. Hopefully the last. Of course you're not talking about Tank. You're talking about Canelo. But the whole conversation started about Tank, and you guys need to fucking direct it to Canelo. Fucking for some reason. It was talking about Tank Davis putting rehydration clauses on fucking Mario Barros and fucking Ryan Garcia, and then putting no fucking exposure clauses on it so nobody knew he was doing it. But then somehow you guys make it about Canelo Alvarez because he was going to put rehydration clauses on cruiserweights, as he probably should. And he probably should put it on fucking David Benavidez' fat ass too. This live is not about Canelo Alvarez. It's about Canelo Alvarez and many topics. Didn't you see the fucking title? Canelo hate and much more. But at least you're keeping up the Canelo hate aspect. So congratulations to you. So as you see here, we see 2 UK boxers. Canelo put no one cares, man. Fucking Christ. You guys act like somebody was hating on Tank Davis because he put rehydration clauses on. The only issue is the fact they tried to hide it. The fact he did it, I don't fucking care. The fact they tried to hide it so Tank fanboys would act like it didn't happen, but then would use fucking the same kind of narratives you're now pushing towards fucking Canelo. All you're doing is proving my fucking point. This is the problem with fucking haters and fanboys. They pick and choose their information, which is what you guys are doing. Congratulations. Boxing Truth, I mentioned Pacquiao too. Yeah, okay. We don't need to talk about Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. That shit's fucking old news. Let's talk about this news. So obviously this deal has been agreed to on the Better BF Bivol undercard. 5-on-5 matchup. This is great news. 2 heavyweight fights, 1 middleweight fight, 1 light heavyweight fight, and 126-pound fight. And the good thing about this is obviously this next card is going to be in Saudi Arabia, but they said that they're going to do another card in the UK, which means it's probably going to be UK heavy, but it's good news for UK fans because the problem that many UK people are afraid of is the Saudi money is going to pull most of the UK fights away from the UK and they won't be able to attend fights. But apparently that's not what the plan is going to do. It looks like maybe they'll try to do the Fury AJ fight in the UK in Wembley as part of that deal. And that's why they're hoping Fury beats Usyk. And in that sense, I sort of agree. Eddie Hearn is great for boxing. Yes, he is. Jay Will and Daniel Jacobs too. Okay, just wanted to clarify that point. Boxing Truth, I mentioned Pacquiao. Okay. But here we go. As I said, on the undercard of Better BF Bivol. It's ironic because I was watching Knockout Boxing, who was praising these 3 PBC cards and was really fucking dick riding the whole Tank Davis, Frank Martin, and David Benavidez Vostok fight card. This is the best pay-per-view fucking card ever in 2024. Oh my God, I can't believe the PBC is making a fucking pay-per-view like this. Holy moly, I'm losing it. Oh my God, this is so good. Thanks, Al Heyman. Fucking Christ, man. Knockout Boxing. Dude, take a chill pill. Because nobody thinks that this is one of the best pay-per-views in the last 10 fucking years. But okay, you do, because you're a Tank Davis, Errol Spence dick rider, and that's long been fucking established. But the truth of the situation is, look at this fucking card. Bivol Better BF for undisputed light heavyweight title. David Benavidez to take on the fucking winner. Doesn't that sound fucking great? That sounds legendary. And then an undercard with 2 fucking great heavyweight matchups, another light heavyweight matchup, potentially a mandatory for the winner of this, 126 pounds, and then, of course, a middleweight fight. And the middleweight fight is probably going to be against 2 really good young up-and-comers. The guys they're talking about, that one American guy, Ammo Williams, versus that Muslim English guy, Shiraz Hamza, who fucking looks great. He looks the real deal. And I would love to see that fight. I hope that's the fight that gets done. Ammo Williams, Hamza for middleweight. Man. And we know that Raymond Ford against Nick Ball is probably going to be the fight at 126. That's a great fight as well. Both of those guys coming off of very, very good performances. So, I mean, whoo! And of course, Zhang versus Wilder, one of the heavyweight fights. That card really is looking fucking great. And it's ironic that most of these American YouTubers somehow act as if these fight cards do not exist. Where are the Americans? What are you talking about? So the card sounds like a bunch of Euro bumps. See, you just expose yourself for a fucking moron. I'm pretty sure Wilder is an Amero bum. I'm pretty sure Raymond Ford just became a world champion at 126. I'm pretty sure Ammo Williams is an American. And I can't remember who the other heavyweight fight is. What was it going to be? Daniel Dubois versus fucking, yes, there are Euro bumps for you. But right now you tell me one American heavyweight that's fucking worth watching, and then we'll put him on the undercard. Like, if you want to talk about every single weight division in boxing, the representative, you tell me what division in a boxing right now where there's good American fighters. Because not a heavyweight, not a cruiserweight, not a light heavyweight. 168, okay, David Benavidez fits there. That's one, but he ain't even a champion. Um, so we sort of can't really think too much about him. And then 160, well, there's no good Americans at 160. At 154, well, the best fighter there right now is Tim Tszyu, who's not American. And then the other fighters all becoming Russian, Ukrainian. They're going to be champions. And then you got 154, where you got Bud Crawford. So that's one weight division that has great Americans. 140, you have a few, Lopez and Haney. So there's two. Well, look, you do fucking the English fuck you sign and you get balloons. Sweet. And then where? 135, obviously Shakur and Tank. So that's three fucking weight divisions that actually have American fighters that anyone cares about. My God. But a dude like you acts as if you're a boxing fan. But apparently you don't know fucking anything. And that's not a surprise. Oh my God, here you go. Knockout guy must be a black guy. Why is it a black guy when I tell you he's a fanboy because he's fanboying for fucking Tank Davis and Errol Spence? He could be any color, but it's just the narrative. Acting as if this is a great pay-per-view. Do you think that's a great pay-per-view? Just leave your fucking response. You don't need to be a fucking dumbass. Top 25 best boxers ever. 22 are black Americans. What do you think about that? Does it hurt? Okay, list them. List the top 25 best boxers of all time. What subjective list are you listing? Because I don't even think you know fucking 25 fighters. Because I can guarantee you fucking probably at least 15 are black Americans. At least 15. But it doesn't hurt me. Why would it? I have no problem with black Americans. I'm not the one who just criticized all European fighters. That was you. I didn't criticize Americans. You're the one exposing your fucking narrative. Me, I was exposing a great card, and you're dick riding black American, which tells me you must be fucking black American, because the only thing that fucking builds up your fucking confidence is other people doing well, because apparently you fucking live in the basement and are unemployed. That must be tough. Good thing you even live in America, where they'll throw you a welfare check. You're welcome. Taxpayers are happy to throw you some money just to keep your ass off the street. Who do you have, Sean Bivol or Beterbiev? I'm leaning for Beterbiev because stylistically, I'd much rather see him win. And then Beterbiev versus fucking David Benavidez. Great fight. Black Americans dominate. Well, basketball is dominated by Europeans. Baseball is dominated by fucking Caribbeans, Dominicans, not Americans, and Japanese. Football, okay, so good. Congratulations. So there's football. Boxing right now is definitely not fucking dominated by blacks. I just told you there's three fucking divisions that have quality fucking black fighters. The rest, nobody. Jared Anderson, pretty good, but he doesn't care about boxing. So how good is he going to get? MMA, black Americans dominate MMA. Really? I don't watch it, but okay. So far you got football. Football. Who plays football? Football's fucking a sport only played in America. Congratulations. No one fucking cares. Outside of America, nobody fucking cares about fucking the NFL. MMA is dominated by, exactly, not by fucking black Americans. Cry more. Bud, Haney, Shakur, Tank, Jamal. Is that the guy that just got fucking embarrassed by Canelo? Oh, okay, yeah, him. All pound for pound top 10. Yeah, okay. Okay. Tank is pound for pound top 10, yet he's never beaten fucking anyone. What's the best win on Tank Davis's resume? Go, shoot. You have Charlo top 10 after he dropped his belts and had that performance against Canelo. Of course he does, because he's black. If you're black, it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to be propelled to the front of the line, right? Only because of the color of your skin, not based on the merit of your fucking resume. He was good until he wasn't, which is historical for fucking athletes of every color and race. You're great until you're no longer great. Tiger Woods was the best golfer ever until he was a fucking bum that couldn't win fucking anything. Bivol versus Beterbiev. Black that guy. Block that guy. He's the rep of the LDBC. Of course he is. Dale Bailey, go back to NASCAR. It's funny, rep. Dale Bailey actually is supporting most of the narratives you're pushing. So, you're sort of shooting yourself in your foot and going against the guy that actually supports you just because there's a flag on his picture. Everyone has their time in the sun. Now that it's white, Mexican, they hate the fact that he's not the face of boxing. I know, which to me is ridiculous. In sports, great athletes dominate. Doesn't matter fucking what country or what ethnicity they are. If you're dominant and you're great, that's excellent. Right now, fucking Otani in baseball, it's great for baseball. Seeing a fucking Japanese player do what no other player in history has done. No black fucking player. Nobody's ever been as dominant as he's been as a pitcher and a hitter. That's great. And he's Japanese. It doesn't mean black American baseball players are garbage because one Japanese player is being dominant. But isn't it nice when you have fucking players and people represented from around the world that are playing fucking a sport and doing great? I just watched Juju Watkins, USC female basketball player. She's fucking great. Smooth, man. What a handle, what a player. She is easily going to be the best female basketball player over the next 10 years in the NCAA and the WNBA. And she's a black American. She's great. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is getting tons of attention because she's a Steph Curry shooter, but she's not the kind of player that Juju is because she's not as versatile, not as dominant on the ball. You got to be happy when players are great. Doesn't matter what they fucking look like. Who cares? Why do you have a racist like Dale Bailey in here? Actually, he's not a racist. He's pro-black. So, it's ironic that you're attacking the only guy that actually supports you. Really, it's funny. Boxing is international now. Nowadays, we have Asians, Europeans, Mexicans, South Americans, not really many South Americans. And in the top 10, why are people so insecure? But that's what it is. It's this kind of insecurity because you no longer dominate. You have to fucking hang on to the past, right? That's why these guys always mention Floyd Mayweather, because there's no one now, even though they have Bud Crawford, who is fucking the best fighter in the sport, but still so insecure that there's not more dominance, that they continuously have to hate on everybody else. It's ridiculous. The WNBA is dominated by black people with a few Europeans. Track, football, boxing, baseball are dominated by black Americans. I can at least admit that. Boxing is not dominated by black Americans. Fucking the majority of boxing divisions in boxing don't have any fucking black world champions. As far as basketball, the top 5 players in the NBA, none of them are black Americans. Well, okay, maybe Tatum, you can put him in there. So, okay, 1 out of 5. Do they have more? Sure, as they should. It's an American game. So if you don't have more representation, something is wrong. Track and field? Sure, yes, but who cares about fucking track and field? It's a sport people watch once every 4 years, literally. Every 4 years. Tank beat undefeated multiple title defenses against Petraza. Yeah, that's his best win. And he did that when he was 21 years old. And he's still fucking living off of that? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Congratulations. Tiger Woods got his power from boning his 8 girlfriends. That's lost his power. That's why his fucking power went away. That Petraza win was big time. Loma couldn't even stop Petraza. Loma is not a Tank Davis power puncher. So why would he need to stop Petraza? He beat Petraza's ass, humiliated him, dropped him, had him on the edge of fucking being stopped. And that's Lomachenko. He's a skilled fighter, not a power puncher. Yeah, so Petraza makes him pound for pound top 10. Yeah, I know. A fight fucking 8 years ago. Congratulations. 8 years ago, you beat someone. He fought that fight in 2017, bro. How many Americans can go win a title in another part of the world where judges don't buy their backdoor style? Exactly. It's ironic, right? Only in America can Lomachenko fight an American and have three American judges judge the fight. You can go anywhere else in the world and that would never fucking happen. Never. Do you think pitching and hitting has caused him to get hurt? Yes. People knew that. If you're going to be doing both sides of the ball, you're going to have too many injury problems. And his injury problems are all based on throwing, right? Not hitting. Petras is probably the fifth or eighth best win on Loma's resume. Yeah. 7 years later, we're talking about Petraza making Tank a pound for pound fighter today. That makes perfect sense. Well, it does to guys like him. That comment I wrote sounds like P. Diddy worthy. I love all of it. Just happens Black Americans run it. I don't know what they run, but congratulations. Has there is there anything Black Americans run? They don't run fucking the country. They don't run anything of value in America. The banks, the big businesses, uh, the government. But okay, congratulations. You got a track and field athlete. Nice. Good job. Enjoy. That's going to take you far. You also got P. Diddy. P. Diddling. I thought it was a European game. We to that. You thought what was a European game? Aren't you from Canada? Who do you have? Countries. What's wrong with you? See, unlike you, I don't need to dick ride Canada for my own self worth. I'm a sports fan, so I support athletes from around the world. I don't need to fucking go, he's Canadian and he's white. He must be the best and I got to support him because otherwise I have no identity. No, that's you. That's you, brother. You know, that's not me. Aren't you from Canada? Who do you have? Lennox Lewis, who doesn't even love you? He loves you, though, because he is a fag. So, he's perfect for you. Not even prison. Be honest, without Black America in boxing, you'd have nothing to talk about. Black Americans are the trendsetters. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, okay, buddy. Errol Spence won his belt overseas. That dude shook Foster, went to Mexico to defend his belt. Dale Bailey, you missed the whole point, buddy. You missed the whole point. Because one or two Americans occasionally go fucking abroad to win a title. Congratulations. Literally every other non-American consistently has to come to America. Consistently. To go against three American judges. I can guarantee you when Errol Spence went to the UK, there were not three fucking UK judges that fucking were scoring that fight. When, what's his face? Oshaki Foster went to Mexico to defend his title. There were not fucking three Mexican fucking judges. No chance. Sean, are you not a sports fan? You are one. Me, you are biased. I don't even know what that fucking is. That English? Yeah, I'm a sports fan. So I don't understand. What's your question? Who is most talked about in boxing outside of Canelo? Well, outside Canelo. Canelo is not a Black American. Fury, not a Black American. Usyk, not a Black American. AJ, not a Black American. I mean, some of the most talked about and the highest paid boxers in the sport, none of them are Black American. The best, Bud Crawford, not even talked about. His own people fucking hate on him and disrespect him and don't give him the fucking love and attention he deserves. I have Curry, LeBron, KD, and Tatum in my top five. Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. You're the only person, literally, that pretends to watch basketball that has fucking Curry, LeBron, and KD and Tatum in their top five right now. Literally, only you. Most people have a Canadian in there, two white Europeans, one black European, another black African who just happens to be injured, uh, and then Tatum. Well, Sean, you are forgetting all people come from blacks, so success can be traced back to Africa. That's true. That's why I don't understand why these people can't respect me as a brother. You know, when I say, "What's up, my man?" They say, I ain't your man." "What's up, brother?" They say, "I'm not your brother." But we all come from Africa, so we're all brothers. So why this anger? Why this disdain towards another black man like myself? Just because I don't have melatonin, I'm still a brother. I'm still black. I'm from the motherland. So if this is the case, what's all this fucking racial disparity? Why you need to fucking act as if you better than me? Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to use athletes to act as if you're better than me because of athletes that are doing something in the sport. Well, you're doing nothing, even though we're all from Africa. So why are you trying to create this fucking racial beef? Why are you trying to act like you're better than me? Because that's where the beef comes from. You acting like you better than me. Uh, where are we? AJ is more popular. Yes. It's not an American fighter's fault that they don't have to travel. Oh my God, Dale. We fucking passed this conversation fucking years ago. If they want to make their name for themselves, they should fucking travel. But unfortunately, they're protected, so they don't travel. Well, Sean, you're forgetting all people come. Oh, we said that already. Tank should be even more mentioned in the same sense as Loma. That's a fact. Sean, the funding fathers were black, though. Sources Google AI. Well, everybody's black now. Mother Teresa's black. Fucking the Pope was black. I mean, new fucking age, woke social media. Fuck, I'm black. Go look at my Wikipedia page. Joker and Luca can't guard a parked car. You must glorify no defense. I don't care about fucking defense. I care about winning. Joker just won the NBA title last year. Your sad ass must be upset about that. Only when it benefits them. Well, that's it. It's always fucking when it benefits them. Showing their insecurity. The rep represents insecurity in Black American culture. That's heavy, man. LeBron James was the most unwilling defender in the last decade. Queen James is done. Sean, who's going to win the NCAA tournament? Well, I picked Kentucky. If you go to my basketball channel and subscribe, you will find out my predictions. But unfortunately, Kentucky ruined my fucking draft or my brackets. So I had to redo one today for the Sweet 16. And I am picking. Who did I pick? Purdue with a Canadian, Asian motherfucker winning the title. There's my Canadian representation. Let me tell you something. You put Loma in the ring right now with Tank, and you better get a body bag ready. Oh my God, give me a fucking break, dude. See, the fact that you say stupid shit like that just shows what a fucking idiot you are. Truthfully. That motherfucker ducked Lomachenko like he ducked his father for fucking years. Or sorry, like his father ducked him. Body bag. I'm nervous for my SDSU. Well, let's go Aztecs. They obviously played well last year and well this year, but they are up against UConn, so most people are picking UConn to win. Body bag for who? Tank Davis, because his nuts will fall off. Facts. That dude been ducking Loma for years. Loma is weak with his shoe shine punches. He's weak, yet the only fighter that really kind of beat him was Lopez. And Lomachenko could have actually got a draw off of that fight if he would have won the 12th round. So in truth, he's never really got beat by anyone. Yet he's faced way better competition than fucking Tank Davis. But okay. You've claimed fame for Tank Davis as Petraza in 2017. Floyd literally said he wasn't ready and will fight him in 2023. Even after Loma came back from the war and had a bad performance against Ortiz, they still didn't want to fight him. Block that guy. I keep thinking you're saying black that guy. He black already. I don't need to black him. Loma versus Tank, the difference is opposition will show Loma will win. Loma doesn't do shoe shine punches. It's just that's all the power he has. He gives it his best. Well, the truth is, he could sit down more on his punches, but he's a technician. He's not going to sit down on punches and put himself in position to be countered, right? Tank Davis might be able to beat fucking Lomachenko, but unfortunately, we're never going to see that fight because Tank Davis don't want to fight any fucking legitimate opponents. So you can fucking dick ride Tank Davis all you want, but all we're saying is when you're going to fight Loma, when you're going to fight Shakur, when you're going to fight Lopez, when you're going to fight Haney, please fight one of them. Please. Loma destroyed Russell. He didn't destroy him, but that was a very significant win in your third fucking professional fight. Took away his speed and all his attributes, dominated him. The biggest fanboy since knockout boxing. Loma is still undefeated, according to him and ESPN. No. See, once again, Damon Wester, you're lying and full of shit, which is consistently what you do in your comments. Did Salido legitimately beat Lomachenko? Did Devin Haney legitimately beat Lomachenko? So then my point stands. The only person to legitimately beat him was Lopez. Salido should have been fucking deducted points, and most people feel Lomachenko beat fucking Devin Haney. But he's got 3 losses. No one's fucking acting like that's not true. I'm not fucking running away from fucking the losses because it don't matter. You fight great competition, you lose. How many losses does Roy fucking Jones have? How many losses does Manny Pacquiao have? How many losses does James Toney Evander Holyfield have? How many losses does fucking Sugar Ray Robinson have? Fucking Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran. Like, see, your whole point is fucking stupid because only Floyd Mayweather fucking fanboys act like fucking this is so significant. But okay. Who does that weak Russell at 140 want to fight? Apparently, he just called out fucking Devin Haney or something. Apparently, I saw him call out that guy, but, you know, I don't know what the fuck's he doing. Loma was in his 3rd pro fight, and Russell had more than 20 fights. Loma is still living his pro career like an amateur. Point fighting. Oh my God, you're an idiot. Dude, you can't be that stupid in reality. And if you are, I feel sorry for your parents because when they dropped you on their head, that shit had real fucking repercussions. Loma was never pound for pound without Devin. No. See, once again, this shows how stupid you are. Lomachenko Teo was going to be pound for pound pay-per-view, and it would have done way fucking bigger numbers than Devin Haney because it did huge numbers. 5 million people watched it on ESPN. 5 million. Devin Haney has never been involved in a fight where 5 million people fucking watched. Except his fucking sex tape that's getting released with fucking Diddy. That's going to fucking probably have 5 million views. But outside of that, never. The only reason the Lomachenko-Lopez fight wasn't on pay-per-view is because of fucking COVID. Salido didn't even make weight. Sean, didn't you know Salido went to train at Andre Ward School of Nutshots? I know, he totally went. Dale Bailey, don't you have some rope to tie in? I don't know who cries the most, you or Loma. I know who. Fucking you. You, Damon Wester. You cry a fucking whole lot, man. Talking shit consistently. Like, are you a boxing fan? We're still waiting for you to actually say something boxing related. I know that's complicated for you, but hopefully one day. Euro stays in the amateurs until they're 32, come to America as pros as 18. See, once again, you're a fucking idiot because you don't say that about Rigo, do you? No, it just shows your stupidity. Rigo ain't European. He's a Cuban. And you'd be happy to dick ride fucking him and act like he was fucking great, even though he fucking became pro older than Lomachenko. Andy Cruz just became pro older than fucking Lomachenko. You can't make up stupid. Loma is by far the worst hype job. See, Damon, now you just expose yourself as a stupid motherfucker. Mark Breland was a better amateur over Loma. I'm surprised you even know who Mark Breland is. No, Mark Breland wasn't a better amateur. He was a great amateur, maybe one of the best amateurs from America. But he probably wasn't even the best amateur on that 1984 Olympic team. Not that I expect you to even know who's on that 1984 Olympic team, but I could easily tell you right now 2 other fighters on that team, maybe 3, that were better amateurs than him. They didn't have as many fights as him, but that doesn't mean they weren't better. Who is your top 5 pound for pound? No one cares about Damon Wester. Damon should just be happy that I haven't blocked him, because he consistently fucking comes off like a fucking troll. And then fucking at the end of the video goes, oh, I'm just joking. I'm just playing. You're cool, Sean. Consistently. I mean, I don't know what's up with that shit, but that's him. That's him in a handbasket. Sean, how long till you get monetized again? I need 500 subs. I don't understand why out of all the subs I had, still I only have 300 something. But this just tells you this whole boxing culture that we have. But 1,000 to be official, 500 to be in between and have some rights. COVID was the reason why Loma versus Lopez did 5 million views. Yet all those other fights on ESPN during COVID, none of them were successful. So explain that to me. I bet you still think Canelo and Loma are top 5 most valuable duckers. Damon, why are you still fucking awake? Isn't it your bedtime? Your mom gonna get angry, kid. Big up, Sean. What's up, Mr. Pads? Nick No Mas against Rigo coming up 2 weight classes. Huh? Rigo could have fought Lomachenko at a catch weight with the rehydration clause at 124. But unfortunately, Rigo was happy with the 124 and the rehydration clause. But he wasn't happy with the payment of $500,000, which is more money than he ever got paid in his fucking life. And the fight didn't happen, all because of him, right? Like, you guys just need to fucking get out of your fucking narrative and be more fucking boxing fans. Life would be much better that way. If you were a race baiter that pushed narratives, you would have thousands. What if you just put up Cash App? I guess I could do that too, but then you never know how all that shit happens if you do like PayPal or that stuff. Some stuff obviously doesn't translate so well if you're not inside the States and you live abroad. So, Sean, are you going live for the best platform in boxing this weekend? I'm with you, Sean, or Wave. I would love to go live this weekend for the Tim Tszyu fight, but the only problem is it's not on DAZN. And if it's not on DAZN, I don't know if I can actually watch it. Oh, what's this message? Is John Boxing? Oh, fuck. Lead Hand Media. People say there's snakes in my comment section, and, John Boxing and Ego Boxing make good content. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. The only semi-big channel y'all got is IBFP, and nobody takes that dude serious. Well, Ring IQ, Ness, there's lots of fucking big channels. I don't know what he's talking about. He's saying like what? White or non-black? The reality of the situation is Ego as I put in my fucking short video, released 20 fucking 9 videos clout chasing fucking Ryan Garcia. In my comment section right now, who wants me to put out 29 videos in the next week and a half about Ryan Garcia? Please raise your hand if that's the content you want me to put out. Because that's what Ego's putting out. The rest of those channels putting out fucking Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia fucking videos every fucking day. So you want me to put out Ryan Garcia fucking videos every fucking day for the next fucking month? Right? I can do that so that I get more people to fucking subscribe to my channel and fucking watch my content, because apparently that's what makes Ego one of the biggest channels in boxing, because that's the only fucking content he's putting out. But listen to Lead Hand, who says John Boxing puts out good content. You're going to compare somebody who can't fucking get 200 views on a video to somebody that puts out thousands of views, and God only knows who fucking actually watches those videos, because I can't watch them. How can I watch 29 videos about Ryan fucking Garcia? I watched one live of Ryan Garcia and I never want to hear him fucking talk again. He's a boxer. Go fight. Shut your fucking mouth, because you're the stupidest motherfucker I've ever heard, and you're delusional like fuck. And you ain't selling the fight because you sound like a mental fucking, yeah, you sound like fucking you're mentally retarded. His parents obviously dropped him on his fucking head. Jesus Christ, he is talking about stupid. I'm going to clip some of this from your channel of me working you. Yeah, okay, you working. Yeah, dude, I don't know what you're working, but Chayo, Ryan Garcia is popular. His big super fight is coming up. He is popular, but nobody wants to hear that guy fucking talk. He's a boxer. It's just like no one wants to hear you talk because you're a fucking troll, right? People got their lanes. Stay in your fucking lane. That's all. Coach Malachi is a good channel, and black dudes hate him because he speaks truth. And the only thing he hates the truth is the devil. You putting out content on black people every day. What's the difference? I'm putting content out on boxing every day. I can't help it if boxing is full of black people. Man, I'm so tired of Ryan bullshit. This fight better have 1 million pay-per-views with all that coverage. Fuck, man. For Devin Haney's sake, you better hope so, because otherwise there's no fucking chance he's going to get a Tank Davis fight unless this fight does almost as much pay-per-view fucking as Tank Davis fight. And then the Tank Davis fans are still going to say Tank Davis did all the pay-per-view work and has nothing to do with Ryan Garcia. And then, of course, when Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney do 1 million, it's all because of Ryan Garcia, not because of Devin Haney. The fucking back and forth within the American fucking YouTube community. It's the same Errol Spence, Bud Crawford fucking fanboys now being Tank Davis, Devin Haney fanboys, right? LDBC, they loving fucking Devin Haney. Coach Malachi literally built his channel off of the LDBC. That's how he got started. Coincidence? Plus, he's a volleyball coach, not boxing. Okay. I don't know how he's a volleyball coach. He looks like he's about 5'3". And you complain about other people's content. I ain't complaining about it. I'm using their content to expose their fucking fake narratives. If you had a channel, I'd do the same thing about you. Don't forget, Sean, when Tank versus Frank does 100 pay-per-view buys, lying Ellerby will come out and claim it did 1 million, and casuals will run with it, even though it takes no sense. I know. Or he'll blame fucking people stealing it and saying it would have done 3 million, but people are stealing it. Who is Ellerby? How would he know pay-per-view numbers for Amazon yet? They'll still run with this. Well, they don't care. The problem with many of the people that follow these channels, they really don't give a fuck about what any of these people say. They just run with it because it's pro-black fucking narrative and anti fucking everybody else. And they feel objectified. They feel inferior. They feel that they are second-class citizens in America. So they're looking for content that can reinforce the fact that they feel like it's not their fault their life is shit and they haven't accomplished anything. It's somebody else's fault, right? So they love the content that basically is used to push that narrative, and they just run towards it. And it doesn't matter if you lie, it doesn't matter what you say, right? I thought the LDBC were PBC fanboys. Devin is not a PBC fighter. I know. Look how fast they turned. I guess the checks stopped coming in from the PBC and started coming in from fucking Devin Haney. We know how this shit rolls. Whoever's paying you, right? I don't like the talk like PBS fangirls, but I tell you, we buy boxing because we love to see fighters. Real fights, though. Canelo has to come running back to the black man, though. Tim Zoo's biggest payday is from the black man. Yeah, okay. Keep telling yourself that, buddy. Canelo Alvarez is getting paid because he's Canelo Alvarez and would have got paid regardless of what fucking platform he was on. Tim Zoo brings fucking a huge fan base behind him. He ain't fucking generating that money because of Americans like you, because you ain't paying for that fucking pay-per-view, you cheap motherfucker. LDBC are pro-black. PBC just happens to be the majority black, even though PBC is not. The majority of PBC fighters now are non-black fighters. Most of the cards pushing non-blacks. Last year, their cards were Latin heavy, right? So people pushing that, they're not even looking at the reality. All PBC fighters love Big Al. That's why they're all leaving right now, right? I mean, literally, fucking Rances Bartholomew and Delorme, two PBC fighters, are now fucking on Golden Boy, amongst many others. Actually, black people are second-class citizens. No, they're not. They're not. But if people want to continue to perpetuate that, that's fine. Continue to perpetuate it, but it's the stupidest fucking bullshit ever. David Benavidez has literally said he loves how PBC treats him. So how is PBC bad? He's got a contract where he needs to say that, or else he's going to get fined. It's like a kid fucking getting a lollipop for every time he fucking says something positive. Sean, you steal fights from Taiwan. I don't steal fights from Taiwan, dumbass. I cannot buy fights because they're not available in Taiwan. Maybe you don't understand the difference because you're an American who never fucking left your country, right? You guys think Showtime and ESPN is global. They're not. They're shown in America. They're not shown outside of the US. Dudes hate it when Coach Malachi said Canelo pays himself. This dude wanted Coach to accept Al Heyman, signs the checks. Coach just laughed his ass off. I mean, come on. Those dudes are stupid motherfuckers. Sean, why do you complain about $80 pay-per-views when you steal all your pay-per-views because Asia doesn't show the US fights? I don't complain about $80 pay-per-views. What I complain about is the fact that these channels don't fucking build themselves so that they actually sell their product globally as opposed to fucking small marketing it only in the US. It seems to be a stupid fucking way to do business. That's why I like the fact that DAZN is trying to become global. And if Amazon is global, that's great. But let me tell you right now, this next fight is not global. It's only being shown in America. So you're on Amazon, but fucking you're not using 80% of the global population. So, right there, you're shooting yourself in your foot. Are you American, Sean? No, I'm not. I'm Canadian. David said in so many words, I love the way that Al Heyman doesn't make me fight tough fights and doesn't put my name in a Canelo contract, pretty much. He also said, I love to hide behind Heyman so I don't have to go to DAZN to fight Canelo or better BF or the Biffle winner. PBC does know one thing. Mexicans buy fights, even though the fights lose, they make it so blacks will win because that's the only way they keep watching. Wow, that's probably true because dudes fucking don't care about Errol Spence anymore. Well, you should find another way, Sean. I bet you used black box stealing fights growing up. You want to bet? How much you want to bet? When I grew up, I would go to the strip bar where I had to pay to get in to watch pay-per-view events. The Marble Arch in downtown Vancouver. You can Google the Marble Arch in downtown Vancouver. I would go there to watch every single pay-per-view fight. I have to pay to get in at the door for the majority. Some lucky, they just let you in because obviously you're going to be spending money on booze and food. And then I would sit there fucking for the whole card watching boxing. Remember Spence's words. Go ask Al. Go ask Al. Simping for what? I'm just speaking the truth. Boxing Truth has been simping since I've been here. What exactly is simping? Isn't that what you're doing by kissing Al Heyman's ass? Aren't you simping? Because if you have no criticism for what the PBC is not doing, basically you're a fucking simp. You will spend $80, even though I know you don't. In theory, you'll spend $80 for every single event the PBC puts out. To show all your great black dominance, even though 80% of the cards are fucking Latino fighters. Okay. Chayo. Boxing Truth. How much, Sean, on boxing merch do you own? I don't have merch because trying to sell merch from Taiwan and send it out would be a stupid thing to do. The rep, who is the best fighter today in boxing, active. Tim Tszyu is trying to fight Spence next. I heard if he's going against Bud, he's dropping the titles. That's not what he said. Don't believe fucking anything you hear from a second party. His manager said that if they could fight Spence next, they would drop the WBO title to fight Spence next and then go fight Crawford afterwards. Meaning, why not get this big payday now and then capitalize on that to then go get a bigger payday later against Bud Crawford? So they're just trying to count their money. But the reality is an Errol Spence fight's not happening. Really, I think what they're basically saying is, Bud Crawford, you're asking for $15 million to get a Tim Tszyu fight. If you really want that fight to happen, you might want to second think about how much you're really worth. Because that's what it's about. That's the reason they're putting out there. But you guys would be happy to push out narratives, I'm sure. Tell you what, Eddie Hearn has given his star guys local fights regardless of how they do. Sean, what did you think of Walters last night? I'm happy he's back, and I'm happy he looked good, even though he didn't destroy that guy. Boxing Truth, it's Bud, not close. Bud has been the best fighter for like 5 years now. Well, that's not true because he hasn't been that active. He did definitely make a huge statement in the Errol Spence fight. But unfortunately, outside of that, he was kind of blackballed by the PBC and didn't really get a lot of the fights we would have liked to have done for the last 5 years. But okay, I know you like him because he looks like you, and only because he looks like you. If Bud Crawford looked like me, you'd probably be shitting all over him, wouldn't you? But, you know. Bud is the best fighter currently. However, 5 years now is ridiculous. He literally fights once a blue moon. Inui pound for pound number one through activity. Inui is pushing, right? He's right there on the brink. And if Usyk beats Fury, he's right there on the brink as well. And then if Bivol beats Beterbiev, he's right there. See, this is what I've been saying ever since Floyd Mayweather retired. There hasn't been a dominant pound for pound fighter since Floyd. There's been a lot of great fighters, but there's been a lot of great fighters. So it's hard to determine who is number one because nobody is heads and shoulders above the competition, right? Usyk has fought once a year since 2017, not active. That's true, but if Usyk beats Fury, he's doing something more significant than Bud Crawford ever did. Look at the huge weight differentiation between fucking Usyk and Fury. Bud Crawford has never faced a guy who's 50 pounds heavier than him in a fight. Never. Canelo's literally Mexican, ginger looking, laugh out loud. You need glasses. You take one big dump after Taco Bell and you can go from 108 to 122. Exactly. But what you're failing to talk about is if you're a 108 pounder, you couldn't do that. You could, but the majority of people can't. See, the problem with that stupid narrative is you don't understand body percentage. A dude that's 5'3" can't carry so much weight. A guy who's 6'3" can carry a lot more weight. So the amount of weight they need to lose to be the same body percentage. See, that's what you don't understand. Because again, you don't understand math. Body percentage, right? It's an easy figure to figure out. Your fucking scale probably could tell you that. Boxing Truth, you knew what I was saying. What's the biggest fight you're looking forward to this weekend out of all the fights? Out of this weekend, which fight am I most looking forward to? Let's see. I did my predictions right here, so let me go through. I picked Walters by split decision. I gave what's-his-face Adorno more credit than I expected. Muratala's fighting this weekend. That's going to be a good fight. Goulamirian is fighting Zurdo. That's a fucking good fight. I got Goulamirian stopping Zurdo in 10 rounds. Rocha's getting back. Tim Tszyu, of course, is fighting. Romero versus Cruz. Lara, nobody fucking cares. Martinez, the 112-pound champion. That's a good fight. Mendoza getting back in the ring against the Russian kid. That should be a fucking good fight. The two Japanese brothers, Jinjiro and his brother, fighting for 105-pound titles. I'm really hyped about those. Actually, I'm probably most excited about the two twin brothers fighting to defend their world titles at 105 pounds. Why? Because I don't really give a fuck who wins between Rolly Romero and Cruz, because neither of those guys should be a world champion. I know Tim Tszyu is going to knock out Funduro. Zurdo and Goulamirian's a good fight, but I'm much more eager to those two young guys. They're young, up-and-comers, two Japanese world champions. Right now, there's as many Japanese world champions as there are Black American world champions. True story. So, I'm just curious about how good they really are. I've seen them fight once. They've obviously not had that many fights. Both of them had less than 10 fights. So I'm excited to see what they look like. You'll try to put me in a rehydration clause. Oh my God. Are we fucking doing this? My dad is bigger than your dad type of fucking boxing conversation. Come on, boys. How juvenile are we? Truthfully. I'm going to sit here and act tough on the internet. That's our thing. Your thing. Yeah, no, I don't understand. Whatever person pulls that, it just makes me shake my fucking head. Right? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you ain't tough. If you're tough, you wouldn't be fucking acting a tough guy on the internet. You'd be out getting drunk and fucking picking fights in the street right now. Right? That's probably what you'd be doing. That's what my dad used to do with his friends. They weren't fucking picking fights on the internet. I pay for subscriptions to 4 pay-per-views a year, Sean. Yeah, I doubt it, but okay, I believe you. So, your mom must get pissed off that fucking you spent all your allowance on pay-per-view, but hey. Is the undercard going to be on YouTube or Amazon Prime for free this weekend? I think it's on Amazon Prime in the States. And those two fights are pretty good. Mendoza versus the Russian kid, I think, and then another fight that's pretty good. But when they talk about free PBC fights, that's not free PBC fights. Every single fucking promoter puts the first few fights free on YouTube or free somewhere, right? Like, that is a ploy that doesn't mean anything, because the truth is only hardcore boxing fans are going to watch those fights. Casual fans don't give a fuck. They ain't going to pay for the pay-per-view unless it's a huge, super big name like Mike Tyson. And they don't give a fuck about the build-up fights. If you go watch big sporting events, boxing related, nobody goes to the event until fucking the last two fights, right? Because it's not hardcore boxing fans. It's people with money. And they're not going to sit there for fucking 6 hours watching a bunch of fucking preview fights, right? It's only me and you that are that fucking interested in boxing. Jamel is actually a champion in recess at 154, by the way. Who cares? You make that sound as if it means fucking something. So your fat, lazy ass isn't interested in defending your titles. So to be nice to you, they put you champion in recess, even though you're never going to come back and fight at 154 pounds ever again. Because if you were, you'd fight Bud Crawford in a fucking great pay-per-view. But you ain't going to do that because you just got paid a career high payday and you're going to fucking piss that cash away the best you can until your ass is broke and you need to come back again. Only suckers pay for pay-per-view. Maybe that's true. But dudes, thanks for jumping in. We've been on for 2 hours. I think it's more than enough. I need to fucking take a piss. Thanks everyone for jumping in. Everybody. As I say, my channel is open. I just wish that people that were trolling would at least show a little bit of common courtesy and a little bit of fucking respect to the other people in the comment section. But that may be too much to ask from some people. So, we will see. But for the rest of you, peace, cheers, enjoy the weekend. As I say, I will try to go live on Sunday. But once again, it depends on what access do I have to the fights. I heard that the fights are going to be on Fight TV. And if the fights are on Fight TV, then I will pay and I will watch them and I will go live. Let me just check my apps on my smart TV because it's hard for people to understand that you have apps. So is Triller TV, whatever happened to Fight TV? Is Fight TV even around now? Because I tried to find it on my phone, it was gone, and now it's no longer on my TV. Is that now Triller? Is Triller now Fight TV? I don't know what Triller is. I do know, but does anyone fucking watch Triller? Triller Inc. Sunday, Easter Sunday. I get harsher on my Lord's Day of Resurrection. So here we go. What do they have? All fucking old fights. Continuing watching fucking Figueroa, Maxaya, Vargas, Foster. No, dudes. Isn't there new fights? I thought you said that this fucking fight card was going to be on Celebrity Net Fights. Fuck me. Where does boxing go when this is literally what people pay money for? Fucking BFFC. Wardley Clark. Oh, that's not bad. Wardley Clark fight, April 1st. I would actually watch that fight. Now that I know it's there, I will pay for that. But outside of that, there's no fucking boxing, man. Cocksucking motherfuckers. I don't know. Yeah, I will look around, but I'm probably just gonna have to steal it and get a shitty fucking feed. Everything should be on DAZN, man. That's where life should be. Everything should be on DAZN, and boxing fans will be treated fairly. That's it. Everything. If everything was here, life would be so great. Fucking Pulev is fighting this weekend. Oh my God, I can't miss that. Oh, okay. Ramirez is fighting. Gulamarian, but of course that's probably going to be super early UK time. Kurt Walker is fighting James Beach Jr. And that's it. Yes, I'm shit out of fucking luck. There's nothing worth talking about. Elijah Pierce is fighting this weekend against Arthur Villanueva on Saturday. He's like 140, so I don't know what kind of opponent he's going to be. But okay, it is what it is. Oscar Valdez, I know Oscar Valdez is fighting that guy, but I don't see it. When is that? That's on DAZN, right? It should be. But how come I don't see it there? Where? Yeah, no, it's not showing on my phone. But yeah, Valdez versus the guy that beat Navarrete, right? The Ramirez card. What Ramirez card? The Golden Boy Ramirez card. That fight's not this weekend, is it? Been horrible without the PBC this year. Oh my God. Damon Webster. You're a fucking idiot, really. So far, boxing has been great this year. What the fuck are you talking about? ESPN is consistently putting out great fight cards, free, fucking 2 or 3 every fucking month. Golden Boy has put out a lot of product this year, I think more than they did last year. But then boxing has been shit without the PBC. Yeah, because people fucking are disappointed they don't have to spend $80 on fucking hyped up bullshit pay-per-views. You're right. Sean, just tell this clown PBC is just Golden Boy fighters. It is just Golden Boy fighters that they stole. But, that's not their fault that Oscar was too stoned to fucking notice. But thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. Yeah, even ESPN fights, I can't even watch those because they used to be on Fight TV and they're not anymore. So every time you get closer to fucking something good happening, something shit fucking turns up. That's the way it is. But thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the fights.